The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
From this moment on, America's decline is over. I was saved by God to make America great again. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. We will not forget our country, we will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
And that's the home that the new president, Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States of America, will occupy for the next 4 years. Well, it's been a journey. Welcome to The Rundown. It's so good to have all of you with us for our final show dealing with the United States inauguration and, of course, its new president. We had the opportunity to talk to Ben Carson. He was, of course, a secretary for urban development and housing in the first Trump administration. He talks about the importance of Trump being in office and, of course, how it impacts the relationship with the Bahamas. Take a look. How do you feel, sir, about the relationship with the Bahamas and America? When you think about the Bahamas, what comes to mind?
Well, I think there are probably more Americans of Bohemian ancestry than there are people in the Bahamas themselves. It's been a very good relationship. I hope it continues to flourish. A lot of very talented individuals have come to our shores from the Bahamas, and we want to keep that relationship strong.
As America prepares for 47th president, President Trump, what do you want to say to America as he gets ready to take office?
Well, you know, I'm just happy that we look like we're kind of have some common sense. And, you know, common sense is good for everybody. And President Trump is very serious. You know, he's a man who had plenty of money, who was as famous as anybody in the world, and he didn't have to do this. But he decided that we were going in the wrong direction. And I'm very excited about
you served last time as secretary. Will you be taking any kind of service this round?
Well, you know, I would prefer to work outside of the government, behind the scenes, because I can be involved in lots of different things and not confined to a little box.
If there was one thing you're in particular looking toward for the Trump presidency, what would it be?
I would see laying the foundation for a strong economy and understanding how things intersect with each other. For instance, if we use our petroleum resources in an appropriate way, that limits the power of Putin. And I don't think the current administration realizes the way that the dominoes work.
When we come back, we talk to a Democratic state senator on his take on what this now means for his party and their supporters. He also talks about the Bahamas and where we fall in the grand scheme of things. The Rundown, live from Washington, D.C. Back after this.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janays.com.
Let's go.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people, and so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
One of the signs of inauguration is, of course, that democracy is in full effect. Here in the United States, that's on display, and many officials and government leaders are hoping that people understand that that's just the way democracy works. I'm joined now with State Senator for South Carolina, Kent Williams, who, of course, is Democrat. And so not a lot of them you're going to see around here, but nonetheless, they're participating in this historic event because of what it represents for America. Sir, welcome to the Rundown, and great to have you here with us today.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
So obviously, President Trump will now become president. And of course, there's a bit of mixed emotions by so many people, particularly on the Democrat side, your side. What do you think this represents for America?
It represents America. You know, this is the epitome of democracy. This is what democracy is about. And the people have spoken. Regardless of what side of the political party you might be on, whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, Independent, Libertarian, it does not matter. The people have spoken, and we respect democracy. And so, you know, there's only one president. And that's President-elect Donald Trump, who will be sworn in on Monday. And and I respect that. I've attended many inaugurations, Republican, Democrats alike. It's a new day, and I just want what's best for the American people. And hopefully Donald Trump will be able to deliver that. And the only way he can do that, we have to unite and work out our differences and find that common ground That's what it's all about. That's, you know, where we can work together and move the policy and so forth agenda forward to improve the quality of life of Americans. That's what it boils down to, in my opinion.
What do you think caused Democrats not to get the kind of support they wanted and to choose Trump? While you may hear so many people talk about his radicalism or his extremism, people said still at the end of the day it was a better choice. Do you think the Democrat Party understands that there are still concerns that the quality of life has deteriorated?
Well, they must understand. The people have spoken loud and clear, and they've been saying this for quite some time, not just during the election process. You know, as any election, and especially presidential election, it's one issue. It boils down to mainly one issue. It's a pocketbook issue. People vote their pocketbook. If people are hurting, people won't change. You know, if the economy is flourishing, people are working, they can pay their bill, inflation is low and so forth, I mean, hey, they could care less who's in the White House. But when people are suffering and hurting and they can't pay their bills and meet their obligation, educate their children, pay the mortgage, you know, have health care access and so forth, it makes a difference, and people will cry out, and that's what has happened. But look, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a Democrat, Democrat, been a Democrat all my life, but I was reelected. You know, I was reelected. Unfortunately, you know, 4 of my colleagues got defeated in this past general election. You know, I think what we have to do, we have to listen to the people. We have to listen to the people and what they say the issues are and what we need to be focused on and what we need to be doing. And when you ignore the people, there are consequences. And so, you know, we have to listen to the people, and we have to do right about the people, and we got to represent these people. And it's about, there again, it's all about the pocketbook. Always has been, always will be.
One of the issues that people believe helped to determine this election for Donald Trump was, of course, the border. And yesterday, during the Senate confirmation hearing for the Homeland Secretary, the big issue was, can America secure its border to the north? Can it secure its border to the south? The issue of migration and the fact that they've said that Democrats have just made it a free-for-all for immigrants. Do you believe there's going to be a renaissance in being able to crack down on illegal migration and securing the borders?
Well, listen, I don't know that there will be a renaissance. We're hearing that it will be. You know, time will tell. But I can tell you that was a major issue. And people kept talking about it. We got to do a better job securing our borders. And listen, America is no more than a melting pot of the world. We're all immigrants when you get right down to it. But the thing it is, there's a process in which you, as an individual wanting to come to America, you go through the process. And it's not that people don't want people to migrate to America, but they want them to go through the process. They want to know who's coming to this country. There needs to be a paper trail. We need to know who's coming to this country. People need to be vetted. You know, safety is the #1 issue. We got to make sure we keep our Americans safe and so forth. And so it's an issue. And it has been an issue for quite some time. And, you know, I hope and trust that they will get a better handle on our borders, because it's kind of been a free fall.
Countries like ours in the Bahamas are watching and waiting. We're the closest neighbor to America. There's already been a letter of request for Bahamas to take immigrants from Haiti and so forth. It's something the Bahamas has pushed back on because of our own challenge with migration. How do you see countries like the Bahamas faring under a Trump presidency, particularly with this ask and its vulnerability for our country?
Well, you know, it remains to be seen. I mean, you know, I don't want to try to second guess the Trump administration and what will happen, but I think as a nation, every nation, especially that borders America, I mean, gotta have to take responsibility, you know, in controlling our borders and vetting people and so forth. So, I mean, I don't think we can do it alone. So I think we just have to, there has to be that conversation.
Do you think the Bahamas should participate in receiving these refugees from America?
Well, what I would say is that remains to be seen. That's a decision that the leadership in the Bahamas has to make. I don't know what the fallout would be on that.
How are the people in South Carolina feeling as we head into another presidency, 47th president?
Well, they're feeling great because it was a mandate from South Carolinians helping to elect Donald Trump to the presidency. So, you know, they're feeling great. People are feeling good. I mean, not everybody, obviously, but I would say the majority is feeling really well and excited and think there's hope again for America, and they think Donald Trump can turn it around and make America great again. I hope he can. I hope he can. But listen, nothing happens overnight, okay? And nothing is black and white. It's not cut and dry. It's not that simple, and it's a process. And it's a pretty encumbersome process. So, you know, listen, I want him to be successful. If he's successful, America is successful. And so we just have to see what happens, what unfolds.
I've got to get the last question in here, of course, and that is, have you been to the Bahamas, and how do you see Bahamas when it comes to a tourist destination?
Oh, I've been to the Bahamas. My good friend Debbie Bartlett, who I know very well, have invited me there. I've been a guest speaker there at her business conference there. I love the Bahamas, and I think the Bahamas is a great place and doing well, and I think it will only get better. So, you know, we love the Bahamians.
You know, as we say, it is better in the Bahamas.
It is better. Well, yeah.
You can't say that. I can say that.
I can say that.
Thank you.
I can say it's better in America. But, hey.
Well, you know, Dr. Miles Monaghan did. The Bahamas is where God lives. Thank you, sir, for talking with us. You know, well, that's a good answer. Good comeback. Good comeback. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
The Rundown back after this. Stay close.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Strike and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
Welcome back. Media mogul Armstrong Williams has worked with the Republican Party in a number of capacities over the years. He believes President Trump is exactly what the country needs, and the fact that he is in office bodes well for countries like the Bahamas.
Let's just start by talking, obviously, this is a significant shift for the United States of America with Trump coming back into his presidency. You're optimistic about his leadership. Tell us why.
Well, listen, without hope, all is lost. I mean, just think about the beginning of January in our country. We selected a new Speaker of the House. We certified the elections. We have the fires in California. We had the terrorist attack at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. We have the death of Jimmy Carter and his state funeral. I mean, those are the kinds of things that happen throughout the year, but they happen literally within the first week of the new year. And what does that tell us? Does that bode well with what we should expect for the remainder of the year? And so in all that, we must find hope. You know, Donald Trump is more popular than he's ever been as a politician and as a president. Even people who did not vote for him, even though he won popular and electoral vote, in recent polls feel that he's the man for the times. Another thing I didn't mention, there's a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And I know behind the scenes they're negotiating the same for Ukraine and Russia. And when Donald Trump was president in 2016, there were no foreign wars. We did not have the crisis on the border. We did not have juvenile crime out of control. We did not have illegals killing innocent Americans at will. We did not have people being burned on the subway. We did not have these things. Law and order is important. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is a panacea for all these things, but Donald Trump did not win because of necessarily his message, even though people knew what they were getting Donald Trump was a repudiation of the last 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And so there's such high expectations for him. And so he has to deliver for the people, because if not, they will lose the House in 2 years. And so that is why he's had such a sense of urgency of building his cabinet, building his administration, so he can literally hit the ground running when he's sworn in. And so we just hold out hope that Donald Trump, because of the fact that he was president before and he's president now, can bring stability back to this country, can bring back economic stability for those that feel as though they've lost their financial standing in this country. And so that's what it is. And so in that, because he's our leader, and because that is what the American people decided last year in November, I respect the will of the people.
I want to bring it home to the local front countries like the Bahamas, who are waiting to see how his presidency will impact countries like the Bahamas. Already there's been an ask for Bahamas to take refugees that he would deport, and the Bahamas has said, well, we can't, we struggle with the same issue. What do? There's a certain level of perhaps even anxiety among countries around the world, like the Bahamas, as to whether they will be negatively impacted because this message is so strongly America first. What do you say to nations like the Bahamas?
You know, what people say during a campaign and before they become president is really meaningless. You have to govern. You know, it's not only about the interests of America, it's about what is in the best interest of the Bahamian people. And the Bahamas and America has a very important strategic relationship. If America had not neglected the Bahamas for so long, the Chinese would not be there. You would not have the issues of drug interdiction there. It's part of America's neglect. And the Biden administration used it as a stepchild. I mean, just think about this. Within the last 12 years, you've not had an ambassador. And already, one of the first things that Donald Trump did while he was appointing all these critical people to these critical positions, he named Herschel Walker as his ambassador to the Bahamas. That is a sign that the Bahamas are a very strategic partner, and that through his ambassador, Herschel Walker, the trajectory must change. And so instead of focusing on the tea leaves of the negativity in the press, what he says about immigration, you're going to look at the total picture and say, for the first time, this ambassador will be confirmed. You've got an ambassador. That shows respect. It shows you that the importance. Work with this new ambassador and build a better relationship between the two countries. All right.
Hi, I'm Kizzy Hanna, and I am the CEO of Nail Envy Salon Studio and Nail Envy Academy. My business offers education for beginner level, intermediate, and advanced level nail classes for those persons who would like to become nail technicians, and continue that education for those persons that are in the professional atmosphere already. So our curriculum has already been vetted and approved by the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. What distinguishes Nail Envy Academy from the competitors, we are really focused on relaying our information in a proper and conducive environment, making sure that our students are getting that one-on-one attention that is needed to be able to send them out into the field and be able to be successful in their occupation. I am so passionate about what I do because I want young women to know that not everyone has to have tertiary education. You can throw your whole self at something and bring a difference to your industry.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor, just waiting to be found. Nothing is truly ever lost at sea, only hidden by time and sand. When I put this fleet together, it wasn't just for fun. And although we do have fun, we never lose sight of our goal. Right here, right now, we are on a mission.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
And despite who leads America, Bahamians will continue to soar. Our Devontae Hanna spoke with a Bahamian doing some big things right here in Washington, D.C.
Born and raised in the Bahamas, Kival Hanna developed a deep appreciation for community collaboration early in life. Her passion for social impact and economic development propelled her to a distinguished career that spans continents and sectors.
I wanted to do things that helped, one, build trust, build accountability, but also build our resilience. And so my career started at the World Bank, where I worked hand in hand with 20+ countries, governments, advisors, business to really think about how do you make development actually sustainable and meaningful for all.
Now at Edelman, a global communications firm, she holds the position of Senior Vice President responsible for social impact and sustainability. Causes, she says, are near to her heart.
Essentially, working with CEOs and leaders to really help them define what their role in society is as a business. And so everything I do is connected to communication. Communication is the backbone of what I do, but really it's about listening, problem solving, and thinking forward, and thinking in a really smart, effective, and collaborative way.
Her journey from a small island community to where she now stands underscores the power of dedication and vision, which she says she owes all to her family.
When I think about my greatest accomplishments, I would say taking the resources, the talent, the time of my parents and my grandparents who really poured into me all of their treasures and said, go look for me, go look for me. You can do anything, you're highly favored. And so for me, my greatest accomplishments is taking all what they've given to me and giving it back.
Being so far away from home, here's how she keeps herself grounded.
For me, balancing the demands of this job with my own Bahamian culture and roots is, for me, a sign of resilience, of my resilience, and I draw on the strength of my people.
Bahamians also excited this past week to have participated in volunteering for the inauguration. Right after we landed in Washington, D.C., our Devontae Hanna caught up with Carolyn Hanna.
I am here for the inauguration of President Trump. I was here for his first inauguration in 2017, and now I'm here for the second one. That's why I'm here.
I understand you have a special role. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, I'm a volunteer for President Trump for the inauguration events. So I came in today so that we'd be able to receive our passes and our tickets and get our assignments, and we're ready to go.
Knowing it was going to be pretty cold on inauguration day, they say that it's going to be the coldest since President Reagan. How are you preparing for that? Obviously, we're not from this type of climate.
Well, I have much coats because, as I said, I was here for the first one. And it was very cold then. But I go to Canada quite a bit because that's where my children are, some of them. And so I'm quite prepared for the cold. I have 2 coats, and trust you me, they can take care of me from now until I'm ready to leave.
Now, I know that obviously Bahamians may not get involved in American politics to this extent. What does it mean for you, and what was the inspiration to really apply to become a volunteer?
Well, the thing is, in 2016, I'm a believer, first of all. And in 2016, when Mr. Trump came down the stairs, the Holy Spirit told me, pray for him. And I have prayed for him ever since. And I believe it's as a result of my obedience. Why? Number one, I was at the first inauguration. We went to the Victory Ball and everything and didn't have passes. And so this time, it's just a continuation. I've continued to pray for President Trump. I don't get caught up with the naysayers. I listen to what that inner being says to me, and I know that I'm on the right track. I knew he was going to win, and so we were preparing for this even before the elections in 2024.
What makes you such a big Trump lover?
Well, like I said before, he's a Republican, and I have supported the Republican Party for any number of years. I've done that. I've written to presidents and given them words and all that sort of thing, but I've never been as involved with any as with President Trump, because I think he needs someone that's in the back of him, just lifting him up in prayer, regardless of what people say. Some may be true, some may not be true, but that's not what I'm all about. I'm about being obedient to what is being said in my spirit. And as a result of that, I've seen God work in a marvelous, miraculous way.
All right, what are you most excited to see and hear from him over the next 4 years?
I'm excited to hear him fulfill all the promises that he's made. Maybe not all of them, but at least 90% of the promises he's made to the American people, because I have lots of relatives in the United States of America, and maybe one day I'll become a citizen, who knows?
Wow. And how many of you are volunteering?
It's at least 3 or 4 of us.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the first interview.
That's all.
Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters is staying the course despite her party losing the general elections and the House and also the Senate. As a friend of the Bahamas, she believes that our goodwill between our two nations will continue, but we should take a stand. She appeared on the Rundown on Monday night.
We have a Caribbean caucus that's made up mostly of Black Caucus members who care a lot about the Caribbean. And we're there to do everything that we can to ensure that we have a strong relationship and that we're listening to our neighbors and their concerns and working together with not only the Bahamas, but the other island states of the Caribbean. I consider that we have a great relationship with the Bahamas, and there's no reason why that should change. As you know, again, we have a Caribbean caucus. That Caribbean caucus is all about doing everything that we can to have a great and strong relationship with all of the Caribbean, and to deal with climate change, and to deal with trade, and to deal with issues that not only are issues that are good for the United States, but good for the Bahamas and good for the Caribbean. Some of us feel very strongly about that, and we will continue to work toward that end, and I see no reason why that should be interfered with.
President Trump has named Herschel Walker as the ambassador designate to the Bahamas for the United States. Your thoughts on that pick?
Well, as you know, there are those of us who disagree with many of his nominations, not only, to the Bahamas, but in our domestic efforts that we have to be involved in all over the United States, whether it is Secretary of State, whether it's head of the SEC, on and on and on. And so, because we are Democrats, and because they are Republicans, and because he is, very conservative and has a different idea about who he thinks can do a great job, we take a look at those nominees. We take a look at how they have defined themselves, the work that they have done, the way that they have conducted themselves, and whether or not they are to be trusted. And I have to tell you that the nominee for the Bahamas is not one that I support. And of course, there are those who would have questions about the way that he's conducted himself when he ran for office and his background. And so there's a difference of opinion. and that is well known. And I am very interested in the Bahamas getting the best representation that we could possibly provide, and the relationships are protected. And so I'm worried a bit. And he's the president. He gets a chance to make these nominations. They get a chance to be approved or disapproved at the Senate. And of course, there will be those of us who will be raising our voices in disapproval of this nominee to the Bahamas.
One thing's for sure, we're not alone in the way forward. There are friends who want to see the Bahamas win. Congresswoman Maxine Waters is one of them. And according to our ambassador to the United States of America, Wendell Jones, the history of our two nations serve as a reminder that all is well.
We're going to fare very well, Clint, because we have seen many changes in administrations in the United States over the many years. I'm sure within the course of your life, you've seen Republicans and Democrats. We go back to I go back to the Eisenhower days, I guess, and then there's Kennedy, who was a Democrat, Nixon a Republican, and they've been seesawing like that for the last 50, 60 years. And so I don't think that you would see any significant changes in policies of the government towards the United States or the United States towards the government of the Bahamas. We have enjoyed very strong, friendly relations for all of the years that we have been an independent country. And nothing is going to change. Donald Trump has been president before, and the Bahamas fared well when he was president the first time, and so now that he's the 47th president, I'm sure things are going to be pretty much the same.
One of the first things he announced, the president today, is that he's writing orders, direct orders, to reverse America's involvement in climate change and the climate change agreement. That is something the Bahamas is depending heavily on because of our vulnerability.
Absolutely.
That's a policy that no doubt will impact us.
Absolutely.
Your response to that?
Well, I'm sure that our Prime Minister and our government would try to find a way to get to the Trump administration and to show them our point of view, the extent to which our country has been damaged by fierce hurricanes. And I believe that talking about common sense, I believe that common sense would prevail. The science is clear, and I believe that the entire Caribbean, led by people like our Prime Minister and Mayor Motley, they are going to continue to agitate for the American government to review the policy with respect to climate change, and hopefully we can get them to see our point of view, because our waters are getting warmer. We are losing our reefs.
The waters are reclaiming the land.
Our fishermen are having great difficulty because our reefs are dying because of climate change. We have coastal erosion, and we have heavier rains. We have our water tables are affected as a result of it. And so most Bahamians now know, having been educated by the present government, that climate change is injurious to their lifestyle. We have seen the depopulation of some of our islands as a result. The farmers in Long Island, they do not have the kind of harvest that they used to have. Their mutton production is lower because sheep drowned in Long Island as a result of hurricanes.
I remember I remember Tropical Storm Noel devastating to Long Island.
Absolutely, and we know what happened in Dorian, how it impacted the Abacos and Grand Bahama.
And so, Joaquin, even your home island.
Absolutely. And so we have to stay the course on the issue of climate change.
One of the issues that people are concerned about, particularly in the Bahamas, is, of course, the pronouncement by then President-elect Trump that indeed The first target is, of course, on reforming immigration. And one of the things that was said is that he sent a letter of communication by America to the Bahamas that, listen, we need you to be able to take some of these refugees, particularly because of the state of Haiti. We responded, our government responded saying, no, we're not going to do that. Many, though, believe as the United States pressures hard enough, particularly with things that we enjoy benefiting in the region, free clearance and all these other things, if they press hard enough, we won't have a choice in the matter.
While we have a wonderful relationship with the United States, we have had governments in the Bahamas, administrations I should say, the Pindling administration that stood up to policies of the United States for the benefit of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister, Brave Davis, stood up to the administration in the United States with respect to migration in the Bahamas. They want us to take migrants in our country. Well, the Prime Minister said no. He refused to sign. And so we should have a grateful Bahamian population that Prime Minister Philip Davis was able to be strong enough to stand to that pressure. We have been building the United States. The Bahamas has. We spend a tremendous amount of money in this economy. You know, I go back to the contract days when we had contract workers, people on the project and the contract. They went back home.
Yes.
That is how Angliston and Coconut Grove and places like that, they were built because we had our people who came to the United States, worked on their farms, saved their money, went back to Nassau, bought land in Angliston and other places such, built the Bahamas. I said earlier on, Bahamians really love home.
Yes.
All right? They enjoy coming to the United States. They are beneficiaries of the economy of the United States, but they go back home. But we are not going to take migrants from other parts of the world because the United States decides or demands that we take those migrants.
We're not a dumping ground.
We are not a dumping ground.
In the final few minutes we have, what do you want the Bahamian people to know, particularly about your office and what you're doing here for the Bahamas in the few 5 minutes that we have?
Well, only 5 minutes. I can take a half hour to do that. But we are doing some wonderful things here in the United States. For the first time, I staged a business and investment forum in Washington, D.C. last September, where we had many of our professionals and cabinet ministers who came up here, and we are selling the Bahamas, investments in the Bahamas. We are doing this again in May of this year in New York City.
Wow.
It's going to be bigger and better. And so we are spreading the word that the best location for investments for Americans is right in the Bahamas. In addition to that, we are bringing the diaspora together. We have done 20 episodes. As a journalist, I decided that we need Bahamians in the Bahamas to know what our people are doing in the United States. And so whether people are scientists or they are in law, you know, Clint, we have people in the United States, Bahamians, who are judges in courts.
Really?
In New York,
wow,
in Florida. We need Bahamians to know what they are doing. We have a young man who is in charge of the Palm Beach Police Force.
Correct.
A Bahamian.
Correct. Yes.
We have a man who is an engineer for NASA, a Bahamian. And so we have what we call conversations with the diaspora, with the Bahamian diaspora.
Awesome.
And we have done 20 of those programs. So we are bringing them together so that Bahamians in the Bahamas would know exactly what our citizens are doing in the United States and how they are promoting Bahamas in the United States in whatever they do.
here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janae's.com.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.
And that's our final show from Washington, D.C. We certainly hope you enjoyed the past 3 days as we talked about how the Bahamas can be impacted by its largest trading partner and, of course, our closest neighbor. We continue to watch and see how the story unfolds and how the Bahamas maneuvers with the 47th president. From Washington, D.C., for the entire team, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for watching The Rundown. Have a great night.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas' coverage of the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States of America is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Rocky Farms Nursery, J.S. Johnson Insurance, Janae's Fashions, Baja Retreat, and the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center of the Bahamas.